Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, episodes 34 to 38. Without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, episode 34, Hour of the Houndour. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So yeah, this is a pretty solid episode. So Ash's backpack gets taken by a Houndour. I can never pronounce these Pokemon's names, so sorry for the butchering. Let me know down in the comments, so sorry in advance. And it turns out the reason why they're so hostile because one of their own is seriously injured. And yeah, they're seeing humans in the jurisdiction and they don't like that, so they're just trying to find food to help the poor thing, and they're pretty hostile when their injured friend is being tended to. But unfortunately, it's not enough. So Ash offers a suggestion. If they can take their little friend to the Pokemon Center, Ash can get his stuff back, and they agree to some degree. And I love this about Ash. He is willing to help others when it doesn't benefit him. And yeah, even though he's struggling to get the poor thing to the center, he's quite determined. Until, being the best Pokemon that they are, the Houndour decide to help them regardless. And while Team Rocket does the usual "I'm going to interfere" shtick, mostly because their food was stolen too. By the way, it was Nurse Joyce's ham. Subtle, Team Rocket, subtle. It doesn't stop them from being good overall. I mean, they get their friend to the hospital. When Team Rocket shows up, the Houndour's like, "Bro, you messing with my new friends? Well, here's a flamethrower to blast you off again." So yeah, I think the episode's pretty solid. It's got a good setup, good Pokemon, and Ash's character. Solid episode all around. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, Episode 35, the Totodile Duel. And yeah, this is a pretty great episode. So while they're fishing, they come across a wild Totodile. And Ash and Misty want to capture it, mostly. I think you know why. Ash wants his own Totodile after seeing it way back in Episode 1, and Misty wants to catch Totodile because what a type specialist. So they fight for it, and they decide to use the Pokeballs that Kurt made all the way back in Azalea Town, and one of them catches Totodile. But which Pokeball? So they decide to battle over it. And it's a solid battle too. I loved the start of it. Misty decides to use Togepi against Pikachu. And in a pretty funny moment, Pikachu's like, I ain't fighting this cute little baby. I give up. And Misty wins by default. But then you come the next battle between Staryu against Chikorita. And you would think Staryu has the advantage because of its hard shell, but Chikorita doesn't give up that easily, so Ash wins that one. Then next you get Poliwag versus Bulbasaur. And of course, Bulbasaur, being the bigger and stronger one, has the advantage, but in a surprising twist, Poliwag evolves into Poliwhirl. And you would think, given the evolution advantage, Poliwhirl has this in the bag, but Bulbasaur wins. And I'll give Misty this. She accepts the defeat like a champ and decides, I don't want that Totodile. My Poliwag just evolved, and that's good enough for me. That's a level of maturity from Misty that I absolutely love. And I love that characterization. It was handled perfectly. And as for Totodile, that Totodile makes quite an impression. Happy, cheerful, and just being a full goofball. So yeah, Totodile makes a great impression. So yeah, a pretty good episode. Totodile's introduction was great. Ash and Misty's done was great. Misty's character was handled well. True champion, by the way. And Poliwag evolving into Poliwhirl was a cool moment. So yeah, great episode all around. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, Episode 36, Hot Matches. And we get just another great episode here. So there's a bit of a rumor going around that a Pokemon is defending a lot of fire types in the area lately. And it turns out Ash's hot girl of the week, named Minky, is that strong trainer. And it turns out she has a Skarmory. And she wants to battle fire types despite the fact that it's a type disadvantage. So, Brock sends out these Volt picks. It gets pretty defeated fast. And then you get Ash versus Cyndaquil, which Cyndaquil is not exactly executing his flamethrower pretty well. So, Cyndaquil loses too. But and Mickey's character is pretty solid. Her Skarmory is a badass. So, solid one-off character pretty well. But here's where I love the episode. Ash's determination and Cyndaquil's power. So Ash decides, since he's going to have that rematch, he decides to train Cyndaquil. And he does it in a pretty good way that respects Cyndaquil and encourages him to become stronger. And yeah, it's a pretty solid. But then you get the usual Team Rocket shtick. But the rematch is pretty damn solid. You would think that Skarmory would have the high advantage, but you get a cool moment where Cyndaquil finally unleashes its most powerful flamethrower. And honestly, the battle itself is pretty damn intense. And it's a fun one all around. So, power to you, Cyndaquil, for winning the fight. So yeah, as you can see, this episode is pretty great. Nikki and Skarmory are cool. I like the setup. The rematch is pretty decent, and Ash and Cyndaquil's characters are spot on. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, Episode 37, Love Totodile Style. This episode's okay. It has a good setup. Totodile falls in love with a Azumarill, but then Azumarill pretty much rejects the poor creature. Damn. So, Totodile tries to impress her with something else. And Brock, being Brock, decides to help Totodile fight for its love. And Brock is so naive. He thinks he knows about love, but he constantly gets rejected at every single term. It's pretty damn funny. But to no one's surprise, even though they get captured by Team Rocket, well, Totodile doesn't, but he gets captured later on, and despite Totodile saving its butt, Azumarill decides Gold Duck is the one I love, not this thing. Yeah. And it turns out that's why Azumarill's trainer was looking for it. Azumarill's not exactly in the high-end showbiz right now. And Golduck is the reason why. Azumarill has a crush on that Golduck. Poor Totodile. So yeah, it's an okay episode. The setup's pretty good, and the cycle repeats again as Totodile falls in love with a female Quagsire. Same thing happens again. Oh boy. So yeah, the episode's okay. Totodile and Brock gets pretty funny moments in there. That's it. Today I'm looking at Pokemon Season 3, Episode 38, Foul Play. This one's yet another okay episode. So, they come across into the spooky forest where they see this professor, Professor Wiseman, very subtle, as he's trying to capture this rare Noctowl. Now, if you've read the Pokédex or played the games, Noctowl is usually a brown-coated Pokemon. But the one we see in the anime is a gold-furred Pokemon. So, Ash wants to make his mission to capture that thing, even though this Noctowl is a lot more smart than you give it credit for. So the professor actually comes up with a pretty clever idea, using a mirror to make Noctowl use confuse itself. So he's doing the Medusa effect. Oh, alright. A lesson of the Medusa effect. On the Medusa effect. Pokemon will be right back after this intersection. Okay, so for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what I call the Medusa effect. So Medusa was a mythical creature that has snakes for hair, and if you look directly at her eyes, you will turn to stone. But the only way to defeat Medusa was to place a mirror in front of her. She looked at herself and turned herself to stone. Alright, back to the show. So yeah, prompts to the professor for coming up with this clever trick. And the only reason I just did that little Medusa information thing, there's a good fourth wall joke that cracks me up. We'll be right back after these commercials. That is a pretty memorable fourth wall joke from me out, so solid one. And I like Ash in this episode, even though he wanted to capture Noctowl throughout the majority of the episode. When the poor thing gets captured, he wants to help it. You see, this is what I love about Ash's character. He wants something, but he also does something that rewards him for it. So he gets out of the end. And after a battle, and after Pikachu defeats Noctowl, Ash catches it, making him one of the few only trainers to capture a Pokemon that's shinier than its actual counterpart. Pretty much when the Hoenn gym leader Nora, when she had a shiny Swallow. Don't worry, I'll get to that series very, very soon. Anyway, I thought the episode was okay. Noctowl's pretty memorable. I like the clever trick that Wiseman used to pull on the Medusa effect. With the Medusa effect, they never say that in the episode. That's what I call it. It's a pretty good one. And the fourth wall joke with Team Rocket is pretty funny. And that's the end of the video, folks. I hope you like it. Give me a thumbs up, like and comment and subscribe, and I hope to get my videos out like this. Speaking of which, tomorrow I'll be looking at Pokemon Season 3, Episodes 39 to 41. Keep an eye out for that video. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer, signing off.